Bam! Welcome back to Games Overboard. I'm PJ.
Hey, I'm Dan.
The women are not partaking.
I know
today
they're not.
They
We have
wouldn't
quite an
play
audience.
games with us because they're not fun.
They're not, but they did watch a fun movie, so I can't really fault them on that.
She has a disco stick.
I have two. Three, sorry. I have three, but we will not show the third for...
Because it's an audio-only media.
That's... Yes, it is.
This is a lovely cuppa.
A cuppa?
Yes, cuppa.
Oh, cuppa. Copacabana?
My headphones are on backwards. Hold on.
Yes, they are.
That feels a lot better.
Is it better?
It is.
Is it better? All right, hey, so what game are we talking about?
We're talking about Dune Imperium today.
Yeah.
Today? Isn't it this evening?
I don't know when they're listening to this.
This episode. This
isn't live TV where you have to tune in at a certain
Well,
time.
it's live for us.
Excuse us, okay? We're not supposed to have a live audience here.
That's true. We
Listeners.
usually don't.
Brandon,
We're not live audience. We're hecklers.
It's even better.
Brandon, in Korea, you need to just tell these lovely people over here
I like
That-
your language.
Whom
But
you
they-
can't see, by the way.
that they should either be in the podcast or not. They can put some headphones on and
You
join.
looked
Totally
at
join.
us and
Totally
we
join.
looked at you, you made
And
it
now
up.
You were
we're being
looking at
being
us.
filmed. You can't film without my consent. Who am I kidding? Film me all I want. Any publicity is good publicity.
Oh, my God.
Dune Imperium.
Anyway, yeah, Dune Imperium.
All right.
So this, the artwork on this is awesome. It's based after the remake of Dune by Legendary.
And it was Denis Villeneuve who
Yeah.
made the movie. And, let's give props where props are due.
I didn't bring any props tonight. I didn't know we had to.
So, Dune Imperium is designed by... I've been trying to, give the designers credit.
That's actually pretty thoughtful.
Here we are. Oh, Gale Force 9 makes this.
Oh, yeah?
They made the Firefly game.
Oh,
also.
okay. That was a good one.
So Paul Denon made this.
Oh,
he also
okay.
made Clank, which you've also played.
I have played
Which makes
Clank.
sense because they're both deck builders.
Ah, yes.
All right, so anyways, Dune Imperium was a massive, hugely successful board game. It was supposed to come out at the same time as the movie, but the movie got delayed.
Right.
And
right.
they're like, well, we're just going to push the game out anyways.
Which is fine, because you don't really need to know anything about the story to play and enjoy the game. I mean, it helps.
It helps, but yeah, you really don't need to know anything about the story.
Of course, you and I have been fans of the Dune franchise for quite a while. I mean, since, 97, 98?
Yeah. Never read the book until a couple years ago, but...
Yeah. I watched the first movie. That was...
No, I
trip.
refuse. I got 15 minutes into it.
It is so different.
It's horrible. It's so bad.
What, you didn't want to get to see Sting in that weird thong thing?
No, or the cat torture device that floats around. And
I forgot about that.
so weird.
It was the 80s. It was a fun time.
Yeah, but anyways, God. But Clank is one of my all-time favorite games. And when this came out, and Dune, I love Dune. When this came out, I refused to buy it for over a year.
Really?
Everyone online was just talking about how great this game is. I'm like, I'm not touching it because this board is so ugly, I think.
I wouldn't call it ugly. It's not the most
boring.
beautiful board we've had. Yeah, it's very minimalist.
And
You have your spaces, but I mean, what little artwork there is on it looks great, but there's not a whole lot.
Yeah, and my issue is it's a map of Arrakis, the planet.
Dune.
Yes, but instead of for different locations, instead of a traditional map where it's a little drawing on the planet or something or a picture on the planet of a town, it's not a photograph, but
No, it's like a thumbnail.
yeah, thumbnail icon of it, and it just doesn't. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like the way it's designed.
I don't mind the design of the board. I think the design of the board is pretty key. It's cool. I was gonna say keen and cool, and it came in key.
It's cute.
It's cute. No, it's not bad. It does its job. You have exactly what you need. It gives you the information that you need to play the game. Mm-hmm. And that's about all it is. Yeah, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but trust me, I've seen more disgusting looking games.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about the game. It's both a hybrid deck builder and a worker placement game.
Yes, resource gathering game.
Yep. Two of them came out the same year. This and Lost Ruins of Arnak. Both are actually quite different, other than the fact that they're deck builder and worker placement. But it's interesting that no one's ever seen a game like this, and then two of them come out in the same year. But it depends on, like, people have been comparing these online, things like that. This one is super confrontational.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's probably, for me, one of the more fun parts is trying to figure out when you're going to be confrontational about it.
Yeah.
So your system here, how you win the game, is through
collecting victory points.
Victory points. And you've got a little side here on the board that goes from 0 all the way up to 12. But it goes up to 12 in case of a tie, but it really ends when the first person reaches 10.
Yep.
And to get these victory points, so many of them, a lot of them is the victory point's yours. You can't take that away. If you get a victory point by getting favor with one of the houses, which we'll talk about a little bit later,
yep.
That's another victory point. But that one can be taken away if somebody else decides they want to gain favor with that house.
Yeah, because each house has its own little like track that you can go up, and if someone goes higher on the track than you, then
you lose your favor, so you lose your victory point.
There are also some cards I haven't seen them where you can lose favor.
I haven't run into them yet. Out of all the times we've played,
if you do X, then you will lose favor in this house, and you'll actually drop. Which is kind of cool too.
That is kind of cool. Now you really have to play strategic.
Yeah,
strategery.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the game is all about just collecting resources by. So you play a card where a normal worker placement game, you put a person down on the board, you get the stuff that's on the spot where you put the person. But for this, you have to play a card that tells you where you can put the guy, and then you collect the stuff, and then you just repeat. And at the end, you can buy new cards that let you go new places, and then you buy new cards.
Give you new places to go to, new abilities. A lot of this is everything is on one card. And when you play that card, you have depends, sometimes up to 3 options that you can play on the card. You can either go to this area and you can collect resources, or you can hold it back. For other things like
buying new
cards, or you can even hold that back even further for the final phase, which is combat. If you have any troops out there, you can use those to bolster your troops out on the field. To do the troops out on the field, you start off with a limited pool. What is it, 4 troops in your garrison? 3 troops. Okay, 3 troops in your garrison. And you only get a few times where you're actually able to throw troops out on the battlefield to try and take victory points, basically. Win the battle, win a point.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out if there's rhyme or reason, is like, because those certain spots where you put troops out, it looks like, because there are only certain places where you can do that, and it looks like they're like key cities.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out why like only certain places let you put troops out, and it looks like no, because there's like the Great Flats. Well, they make a lot of spice. I guess
they do make a lot of spice. Yeah. So and a lot of this.
So it's important locations. Mm-hmm. So they put some thought into like why. Yeah. You would be fighting over that spot. So that's pretty neat.
A lot of the neat thing is a lot of those places. I mean, the whole thing. Anywhere that you're going to go to is on the Dune planet of Arrakis. So it's not like you're going all over the place and you're thinking, why are we fighting here when the battle's on Dune? until you reach to the other sections of the board where you see other things like, one of them is going to like the other houses. Of course, they're not going to be on that planet. They're going to be somewhere else. Or some of the other things that you can do, like
if you want to go to the Imperium, you have to go up to space where they're floating around out there and things like that. But you're always like nearby. You're always fighting over the planet. So yeah, this game is super confrontational. It's rough. Words were said.
What was it called? Do you want to fight?
So let's talk components. Let's go through our normal rundown.
So the components, you've heard us talk about the board already. I like it. I don't mind it. PJ thinks it's ugly. All right, to each their own.
Yep.
But we also have some of these pieces here, and these pieces are very minimalist.
I 3D printed a whole bunch of stuff because it's a lot of cardboard tokens and wooden cubes.
It is. It's a lot of cardboard tokens and wooden cubes and various things. So the cardboard tokens, I know we always go about these and say, ew, they suck.
But it doesn't really need to be any more than that.
No. These cardboard tokens can get beat up and mangled, and you know what? Doesn't care. Doesn't matter because they're just placeholders, really.
You don't use them often, and they're going to be fine.
You've got 3 little flags as your key holders, so if you happen to take a space...
Yeah, if you win a city in a fight, then you control it, and if someone uses that spot, then you get a special bonus.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be you. If someone else lands on it, you go, oh, you got all of this? Well, you still have to pay me.
Yep.
Type of deal. You've got your 3 wooden pieces, which take place of your, what would they be, advisors, I guess? Agents. And
so they're your workers that you're putting out in the fight.
They're your workers in most of these types of games. You get 3 of those. You only start off with 2. You have to buy the 3rd one. And then you've got your little round piece here, which is going to be your marker when you're doing things like...
tracking your score.
Right, tracking your score, your victory points. Now... You guys have been hearing us talk about combat. Well, combat is shown with these little wooden cubes, colored wooden cubes. If anybody remembers the counting cubes when they're in kindergarten, 1st grade, teach you how to count, that's what these things remind me of.
Yep.
That's exactly what they remind me of. They're about the same size and everything.
And we said this in our Sniper Elite video too, that so many hobby games have these wooden cubes in them. They are a dime a dozen.
The thing is, they feel, well, not feel, they look cheap. You look at the board and you go, oh man, that's so lame. They could have done so much more, but you know what? It works.
Mm-hmm.
It works because it's minimalist, because you're not looking at the stuff here. You're really going to be looking at some of the other things that you're going to get in the game, such as your cards for your deck builders and the cards that you get for whatever character you want to play.
There is, for $50 more, maybe closer to 60, an upgrade pack.
Oh, this one has an upgrade
pack? All of
your
agents look like characters, and all the cubes are replaced by teeny little people. But
so we could play Risk with it?
Yeah, it's kind of like Risk in that regard, yeah. And I don't really feel the need for that.
No.
But it's an option out there. It also comes with sleeves for all the cards, which is pretty cool.
Okay, that would be nice. Maybe we should go half on it.
Maybe. Yeah. There are 2 expansions out now.
Oh, really?
There's one, the Rise of Ix, where you get dreadnought ships.
Okay.
That you can put out in the battlefield, and they don't die if they lose. They just go back to their spot wherever you put them.
Oh.
I forget what there's a new one. I forget what that one does though. But it adds, just more cards and more variety and everything.
Okay.
All right, so that's components in a nutshell. It's serviceable. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's
just lots of representative tokens for things like that. Cardboard tokens.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I changed it with 3D printed tokens and replaced them.
Those, I think the 3D printed tokens you have look so much better.
Yep. I do like the wooden water and spice.
That's pretty cool.
Instead of, they could have made that cardboard too, the water tokens and the spice tokens.
Right,
all
and
all wood.
Those are your resources. So your spice,
your money,
your money, and everything. So yeah, it is nice that those are wooden.
Yep,
it gives it a little bit of weight.
Yep. So let's talk about things that work. Things that work in this game.
Things that work.
Things that just feel good.
For me, I can't say it feels good. It looks good. The cards look great.
Yeah.
The cards, the artwork on these, I'm not going to go out and say they're phenomenal. They're pieces of art, but they look pretty neat. When you look at the cards that you get in your hand and your decks, you can see what they're going for. A story is told right there for you already. You get an idea of what's going on with this world, with this universe.
Especially considering, like, this company, even when they did the Firefly one, they just took pictures from, like, screenshots of the movie and printed them out on the cards. Where here they have the actual actors and everything, but they hired an artist to represent,
to do a rendition.
Yes, that's the word. Which just looks a lot nicer than just photographs.
Oh yeah, it does. You can see that there's a lot of thought put into it. And of course, with each of these cards, you have special abilities as well, which is really neat. Mm-hmm. And it can really turn the tide of war. And that's a cool component to it as well, because it really makes you change up how you're going to think and how you're going to play the game.
Yeah. Something else that works for me is the idea of mixing these two types of games, because they're probably my two favorite types of games. We were introduced to worker placement games. Well, not we, you and me, but Shannon and I through Lords of Waterdeep. And
okay.
Which is a great, like, it's the simplest version of worker placement you can ever imagine. Where, like, there's no theme in this game at all. You're supposed to be Lords of Waterdeep in the Dungeons & Dragons setting.
Okay.
And you're collecting adventurers to go off to do things. And so, like, orange cubes are warriors, purple cubes are wizards. No one ever says, I need warriors for this quest. You just say, I need orange. But all you're doing is, like, in most worker placement games, you just take a worker, put it on the spot with orange cubes, you get orange cubes. And then you put a worker on the purple spot, you get a purple cube. And you just keep repeating that until you get everything.
So your resources in this is people. That sounds bad.
So I like how mixing it with cards, and so you can't just go anywhere you want. You have to have a card that tells you, yeah, you can go there and, do this and do whatever's there. I think that's really clever. And I like deck builders, the idea of everyone starting with the same 10 cards and then just, buying new cards and
getting a
changing
variety through that and trying to basically one-up your opponent through cards that everybody has access to. It's not like a Magic or Pokemon or anything like that. You really... Everything's there. All it is outmaneuvering your opponent.
Yeah. And some people try to cut their deck down, so, if they can get it down to, like, 5 or 6 cards, then they always have these super powerful cards. Yeah. They can streamline it to just, like, these really powerful things. We don't have that opportunity a lot in this game, but it's there that you can.
Right, and I found, well, at least for me, the more cards I have, regardless of what power, it's going to be a lot more beneficial because it gives you more variety and more things to do. Because sometimes in this game, you're not going to want to go out to the battlefield, even if you're going to lose that victory point.
Yep.
You're going to want to do something else so you can further yourself in another way.
Yeah. Anything else that works that you want to talk about?
No. I think just the way that it's put together, the way everything is combined, it's a solid game all around.
Yeah. I say even like the graphic design just makes it. You look at a spot and you know exactly what is needed there. Yeah. What you get from it.
Yeah, and everything is just, like a good shorthand. It's just a symbol. Hey, this, if you're here, you get this. Yep. It's not spelled out for you. And if you have trouble, knowing what that symbol means or what's going on, just look at the rule book.
Mm-hmm. So, what doesn't work? I know something right off the top.
Go for it.
For 2-player games, you need to play with a third AI.
You need, yes.
Whether that AI is app-driven or from a solo deck that comes with the game. Mm-hmm. And that deck is, as I said, like used for solo games as well. But in a solo game, that deck would just run 2 players instead of 1 opponent. So you always have a minimum of 3 people vying for spaces on the planet.
Right, out of a 4-player game.
Yeah. We forgot that rule as we replayed today. We've played this game 6 times?
Something like that.
A bit. And this is the first time we forgot about that rule.
Yeah.
And the game was surprisingly, like, we were drowning in water. We had so many resources.
I can never keep enough spice. Yeah, no, I will say that is a bit of a detriment to the game.
Yeah. It is really cool that the game didn't break, though. Like, it still worked.
Yeah, it still works.
Unlike someone who can break board games.
How do you break a board game?
I don't, she says. So we were playing Forbidden Island, which is like Pandemic. Very similar to Pandemic.
Okay.
And in Pandemic, you draw a card, like a city card, and like an outbreak happens there.
Yep.
In this, you're on an island and it's sinking, so you draw a card and like water's rising. Someone decided, I think, it's been years, but she was like, no, water doesn't rise right now. Like... And I'm like, we need to follow the rules, because what's the point of the game? We're just, if we just ignore this rule, like, why are we playing this game then? And sure enough, the game just stopped working. Like, we couldn't, I don't remember how, but we literally could not make the next move because we skipped a step somewhere. And so the next thing couldn't happen. And so we had to backtrack and all that.
All right, that's kind of...
So I'm glad that, like, even if we played this game wrong, the game didn't break.
Right. So I will say, even though that is a detriment to it, when you do play it with it will add the frustration level, as we've noticed many times before.
It adds a lot of intensity.
But if you do use the app, which you can get on a phone or a tablet or their computer, it is really neat to see the way that it interacts with you. Mm-hmm. I think even though it can be a detriment, it's really neat to see how it comes together. Yep. Where no matter what you do, the app is always going to do something that is either going to make itself look good or make you look like a total fool.
Yeah. Or it'll just be like, I'm going to buy the third card in the shop, and then it's like,
and you're like, why did you do that? Why, that was my card.
I think it does. Maybe that's the Clank app. Either way.
Well, now this one it has something similar to that.
It takes some of the cards away.
Yeah, it takes some of your cards away.
Yeah.
It'll also put out so many. If you can't do this, you have to make the AI, put in so many troops on the battlefield, and you're going, oh.
All right. Anything that doesn't work for you?
For me, no, not really. But I'm also used to the game by now.
Yeah.
So, and you got this for me. What was that, for my birthday 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So I just have a lot of fun with it. I think it's really neat and really fun to play, even by yourself. It's something that's not going to get boring or...
yeah, the solo mode in this game is really good.
It is.
It's really good.
Unlike another game we played.
Yeah. My other thing that doesn't work, I already talked about the board. I'm not a fan.
Again, that's all you. I don't mind the board. I think the board is nice the way it is, minimalist. I know it's just a thumbnail of like, oh, this is this place. All right, cool. I kind of have an idea, and that doesn't bug me at all.
I get why they did it. I understand it all perfectly, but I just wish there's a better way to do it.
All right, Mr. Smarty Pants, make a board.
No.
All right, Mr. Lazy Pants, quit whining.
No.
Oh my God, you're insufferable.
That's right.
Oh no.
I'm not a designer. I just play it.
Well, I wear designer jeans. No, I don't. I don't wear designer jeans. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, our final section is favorite memories or stories from the game. I really enjoyed when we introduced your nephew to it. After the first round, he leans back and he goes, "Oh," and he like puts a card down and just shoves in all these troops, and we're like, "Oh." And it was just great to see it like click for him and how easy it was for someone who's like never really played a hobby board game.
Nope.
He's done some wargaming.
Yeah, he's into the miniatures and everything, like Warhammer, but he's never done anything like this. So when he saw this, and I agree, when seeing him click and then knows not only does he understand it, but then he realizes, haha, I've got the upper hand. You're going, crap.
So I thought that was pretty awesome.
That was a pretty fun time. I totally forgot about that until you just mentioned it. That was a good time.
Yeah.
I'd have to say, well, my favorite was, even though we played it without the AI, was Tonight.
Okay.
So as you gain favor with these other houses, like we've been talking about, I was saying you get victory points if you gain favor, so much favor. And we were playing, and PJ and I are pretty much neck and neck. I mean, he was beating me here for the first couple of rounds, and I was just right behind him. I won this one. All right, well, I just won that battle, so this is mine. And I probably 20 minutes into it, I looked and I went, all right, hey, I just gained favor with this one. And he said, oh, well, that's a victory point. I said, oh, wait, I took the token, but I forgot this one. I didn't add my victory point for this one. And he went, oh, no. Oh, I just shot up 2 more points. Tonight, though, is probably one of the games that I have won the most battles on the battlefield. That does not happen very often. It's almost always a neck and neck when it comes to these things. So, and I think a lot of that had to do with we didn't have the AI come in and kick our butts.
Yeah.
Because this game usually runs a lot longer.
I really enjoyed it. I think it was the first game we ever played where we just had intrigue cards all over the place. And we just kept playing them like, well, I have this. And then
got this.
That adds this to my combat value. And then Dan would be like, well, I have this. And then, okay, well, I have this one.
I remember that. We kept playing intrigue cards and then extra combat cards. And I think we almost maxed out the board.
It was ridiculous. It was insane. I think
I beat him by 1 point when it came to army strength. That actually won. Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous.
So that I really enjoyed, just the whole secretive nature of those cards, and you can just play them like whenever you need them.
Yeah, and that's a lot of fun. We didn't really talk about those kinds of cards though.
So the Bene Gesserits have secrets. If you're familiar with the movie or the books, you understand that. Secrets. And so you can visit them to gain secrets, and there are these hidden cards that you can just play to get some kind of bonus. Some of them are endgame only ones.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was like, whoever has the most of this kind of card at the end of the game gets an extra victory point and stuff like that. That saved me in one of the games we played before.
Yeah, that was one of those we were at a tie, and you pulled that out, you jerk.
And then there are a lot of like combat cards, or like I had one I wasn't able to use it where it's you can use a space that's already occupied by someone else.
I wish I would have had that.
Yeah.
Would have won that one battle I lost miserably.
Yep.
So in my honest opinion, this is still one of my favorite games. It's one of the first resource games that I've ever played. Now, I've also played Settlers of Catan, which to me, that was my very first resource game. That wasn't a computer game. That was a lot of fun. And also Scythe, which we should do a later episode on.
Yes.
But this one...
You haven't played since I bought all the upgrades.
I haven't. But when it comes to... just jumping into a game, learning the rules quick, and just going at it, this is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best to get a feel for how these types of games combine all the elements.
Yep. And if you've ever played a worker placement game or a deck builder game, or both, you already know how to play half to 3/4 of the game.
Right.
Because it's both of those combined into one with a couple extra rules added into it. There aren't any surprises here in that regard. It's just the idea of meshing the two together, which is fantastic.
Yeah, they did a great job with this. If you can find it on the shelf, I highly recommend buying it and giving it a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually at Target now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where did you get this when it originally came out?
I had to go to a hobby shop.
You had to go to a hobby shop?
I went to White Knights in Williamsport.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had it there, and it was just like a random impulse buy. I'm like, you know what? I'm here. Like, it's a local business. Want to help them out. I keep hearing good things about this. I'm going to buy it.
It's a fun game.
And turned out to be a pretty good buy.
It is. It is a very good buy. It's fun.
All right, so you recommend?
Oh, yeah, I highly recommend.
I definitely recommend. This is, it's a fantastic little game. If you like confrontational games, Dune, worker placements, or deck builders, give this a shot.
Oh yeah. I mean, I highly doubt you'll be disappointed if you like any one of those three genres.
Yep. So next time for us at least, what we want to do? What should we tease for the audience?
Let's tease with the big granddaddy of them. Let's go with Scythe.
It's Scythe, technically, yeah.
All right, fine. Just
I always
let me
called
get
it
my
Scythe.
reaping sickle. How's that? All right. No response from the peanut gallery on that one. I'm very surprised.
Suggested card games.
Well, yeah, that's what I said.
We
Next
could
time
get-
Us.
get together. So Shannon wants to do like a party game episode. Anyways, we're getting off topic.
That
So
happens.
everyone out there, hope you enjoyed our discussion here and are interested in picking up this game because we really love it. We highly suggest it. And
Suggested? Are you gonna throw like a pocket watch in front of
recommend
them?
it. We
Are you gonna-
recommend it.
Oh, I'm giving you a suggestion. You're gonna
hate
get
you.
very sleepy. I hate me too.
Play you
Welcome to
out
the club.
now. All right, everyone. Also, listen for us at gamesoverboard.com. Like us on Facebook. Email us at gamesoverboard@gmail.com. And listen to our other podcasts, Danger and Dice, and The Well House Exorcism.